The sound of my wife's laughter used to be my favorite melody, but 3 weeks ago, I heard it through our kitchen window while she was on the back porch with her friends, and it turned into the soundtrack of my worst nightmare. My name is Jake, and for 6 years, I thought I had the perfect marriage. Rachel and I met when I was 32, working as a regional sales manager for a manufacturing plant just outside Charlotte. She was this bright, bubbly marketing coordinator at a tech startup downtown, and from our first date at that little Italian place she loved, I was hooked. We built a life together, a cozy home with a screened-in porch she always wanted, Sunday brunch routines, plans for kids someday. But the thing about routines, they can make you blind. Before I get into the details of how I found out the truth, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to Anonymous Confessions. Trust me, you're going to want to stick around for this one. Rachel worked late a lot. Client dinners, she'd call them. 3 nights a week, sometimes 4. I'd make her coffee every single morning, black with 1 sugar, just the way she liked it. She'd kiss me on the cheek, tell me I was the best husband, and head out the door. And I believed her. I believed in the life we'd built. Work had been intense for me too, so I understood the long hours. I kept telling myself that the lack of passion was just part of being together for nearly a decade. That's normal, right? You trade the fireworks for a comfortable campfire. At least, that's what I thought. Then came the golf trip. I'd planned it for months with my buddy Mark and some guys from work. We had this beautiful course booked about 2 hours away, hotel rooms, the whole deal. I was excited, but Friday afternoon, my phone blew up. Severe storm warnings, tornado watches. Mark called me around 3 o'clock. Jake, man, we're pulling the plug. Weather's going to be apocalyptic. Nobody wants to get struck by lightning holding a 9-iron. I was disappointed, sure, but a tiny part of me was relieved. Honestly, I was exhausted. The idea of a quiet weekend at home, surprising Rachel, started sounding better than 18 holes in a hurricane. She had mentioned she was having her girls over, Ashley and Nicole, for their monthly wine night. Perfect. I could pick up some of that expensive Pinot Noir she loves, but always says we can't justify, and walk in the door like a hero. She'd be so surprised. I stopped at the grocery store, grabbed 2 bottles, and felt this warm little glow in my chest, imagining her face. You know that feeling when you're holding a secret surprise for someone you love and you can't wait to see them smile? That was me. Completely clueless. I pulled into our driveway around 7:30. The sun was just starting to set, casting this orange glow over the neighborhood. As soon as I opened my car door, I heard them. Laughter. Loud, tipsy laughter pouring right off our back porch. Rachel's laugh was always so bright, infectious. Hearing it mixed with Ashley and Nicole made me grin. I grabbed my overnight bag and the wine and decided to sneak in through the front door to really surprise them. I wanted to pop out from the kitchen with the bottles like a magician. I unlocked the door as quietly as I could, dropped my bag in the hall, and crept toward the kitchen. That's when the world stopped spinning. Their voices were drifting through the open patio doors, clear as a bell. Rachel was talking. Her words were a little slurred, but absolutely unmistakable. "I'm telling you guys, I've got the perfect setup." I froze. My hand was on the kitchen counter, right next to the wine. Jake makes me coffee every single morning like the sweet little clueless husband he is. He never questions where I've been. I get to have the best of both worlds. I couldn't breathe. My heart started hammering so hard I could feel it in my temples. Then Ashley's voice cut in, giggling. "Okay, but Rachel, 3 years? How do you even keep that going?" 3 years. 3 years of what? "It's easy when your man trusts you that much," Rachel laughed. I heard the clink of wine glasses. "I just tell him it's a client dinner, and meanwhile I'm at Ryan's place doing things Jake hasn't even thought about in years." The laughter that followed felt like glass shards going down my throat. Nicole joined in. "And he's never suspected, even with you coming home so late all the time? Are you kidding?" Rachel's voice got louder, more proud of herself. "Last month, when Jake's mom had that emergency surgery, I told him I was too overwhelmed to go to the hospital, too emotional. You know where I actually was? At Ryan's apartment, having the time of my life, while my pathetically trusting husband held his mother's hand all alone."
I set the wine bottles down on the counter. My hands were shaking so bad I thought I might drop them. My mom. She was talking about the night my mom almost died. I remember sitting in that hospital waiting room texting Rachel for support, and she said she was too upset to come. She said she was home, crying in bed. Ashley was practically squealing now. "You're so bad, Rachel. But honestly, if Jake's that clueless, that's kind of on him, right?" Rachel agreed, loud and clear. "Right? I mean, who believes someone has client dinners 3 or 4 nights a week? Ryan works in finance, makes twice what Jake makes, and actually knows how to treat a woman. Jake is just happy with his little routine. He never asks real questions." I stood there in my own kitchen, in the house we'd bought together, and felt my entire life crack open. 3 years. 3 years of lies. 3 years of me making her coffee every morning after she'd been with another man. 3 years of being the punchline. Something inside me didn't shatter though. It went cold and quiet and very focused. Instead of bursting through that door and screaming, instead of confronting her right there, I did something I didn't know I was capable of. I backed away slowly, grabbed my bag, and slipped out the front door like I was never there, like a ghost. I sat in my car for a solid 5 minutes, gripping the steering wheel, breathing in and out. Then I drove straight to my brother-in-law Trevor's house. Trevor is Rachel's brother, but he's always been more like my best friend, steady, fair. When he opened the door and saw my face, he didn't ask questions. He just stepped aside. "She's having an affair, has been for 3 years. Trevor listened to everything. Then he just nodded slowly. "What's your plan?" And that's when I realized I had one, like my brain had already started building it in the background while my heart was breaking. "I'm going to document everything," I said. "Every text, every photo, every receipt. I'm going to talk to a lawyer, and when I'm ready, I'm going to burn it all down, legally." For the next 3 weeks, I lived a double life. During the day, I went to work. I came home, I made her coffee every morning, I kissed her goodbye, I asked about her day. I was the devoted husband she'd been mocking. And at night, I'd drive to Trevor's house and I'd hunt. You know, if you're going through something similar, or you've got your own story of betrayal, leave a comment below. This community on Anonymous Confessions is honestly the most supportive place. And if you're liking this story so far, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the ending. The first break came when I remembered our shared cloud storage. Rachel was always careless with her phone, never logging out of things. I logged in, and there it was, a digital diary of her betrayal. Photos of her and Ryan at restaurants I'd never been to, hotel selfies, screenshots of messages where she called me the live-in helper. One message from 2 years ago read, "Jake's working late again, perfect timing." Another from last Christmas told Jake I was shopping for his gift, but I was actually picking out lingerie for you. The credit card statements were even worse. Dinner charges for 2 at expensive steakhouses on nights she said she was working late, hotel bookings during my business trips, and there it was, the charge from the night of my mother's surgery, a romantic dinner for 2 and a hotel room. While I was praying my mom would survive, Rachel was cheating and laughing. I printed everything, every receipt, every photo, every message. I started a file. I opened a separate bank account and started siphoning money, small amounts, nothing she'd notice. I met with a divorce attorney, Patricia Miller. She specialized in adultery cases. She looked at my stack of evidence and raised her eyebrows. "North Carolina still takes adultery seriously," she said. "This affects alimony. With this evidence, you're in the driver's seat." I started planning the execution. I found out Ryan had a girlfriend. Her name was Lisa. I found her on social media. I found Rachel's sister Emma too. Emma was always the sensible one, the one who never bought into Rachel's drama. And then the perfect opportunity landed in my lap. Rachel had this big quarterly presentation for her company. Huge deal. Executives flying in. She was stressed, practicing her pitch in the mirror for weeks. It was almost poetic. She'd built her whole life on fake work events. Now a real one was going to be her undoing. That Tuesday morning, I made her coffee. I kissed her on the cheek. I told her, "You're going to kill it," and I meant it. As soon as her car disappeared, I drove to a coffee shop across town. I opened my laptop. I sent 2 anonymous emails. One to Lisa, Ryan's girlfriend. I attached the best evidence, the photos, the messages, the hotel receipts. I wrote a simple note. "I thought you should know what your boyfriend has been doing for the last 3 years. I'm sorry you have to find out this way." The other email went to Emma, Rachel's sister, but I gave her the full story. I explained how I found out. I attached the audio recording I'd made that night on the back porch. Yeah, I'd gone back the next night and recorded another round of their trash talk, just in case. I timed both emails to land right in the middle of Rachel's big presentation. Then I went to work. I answered emails, I took client calls, but my phone was buzzing. Trevor was monitoring everything. Around 2 p.m., he texted, "Lisa's Facebook just changed to single. She's posting angry stuff about cheaters." An hour later, Ryan's LinkedIn says he's dealing with personal matters. He's panicking. Then around 4 p.m., my phone started blowing up. Rachel, 7 missed calls, 3 voicemails, texts. "Jake, call me. Something terrible happened. Please answer. I need to come home. I'm freaking out. Please." I didn't respond. I left work early and drove home. I sat at our kitchen table with the divorce papers spread out in front of me. At 5:30, Rachel's car screeched into the driveway. She burst through the door, makeup ruined, eyes red. "Jake, oh my God, you're home. Something insane happened. Ryan, you remember Ryan from work? He's been stalking me. His girlfriend got fake photos and thinks we're having an affair. She sent them to Emma, too. Everyone thinks—" "Rachel," I said. My voice was calm, ice cold. "Sit down." She stopped. She looked at the papers on the table. She looked at my face, and I watched the color drain out of hers. "Those weren't fake photos. Ryan wasn't stalking you. I know about—"
The 3 years. I know about the hotel rooms during my business trips. I know about the dinner you charged while my mother was in surgery. I know you called me pathetically trusting while I made you coffee every morning after you were with him. Her legs gave out. She collapsed into the chair. "Jake, I can explain." "You already did. 3 weeks ago, on the back porch. I heard everything." The next hour was a masterclass in watching someone fall apart. First came denial. "We're just friends." Then anger. "You violated my privacy. This is psychotic." Then bargaining. "I'll end it. We'll go to counseling. Don't throw away 9 years." But I'd already thrown them away the second I heard her laugh at me. By evening, her whole world was ash. Her friends Ashley and Nicole were ghosting her. Her Instagram, full of our perfect life, became a joke. Her presentation, ruined. She'd gotten a call during it about Ryan's breakup text and completely lost it in front of the executives. Office gossip spread like fire. Look, if this story is hitting home for you, if you've ever been betrayed, hit that like button and subscribe to Anonymous Confessions. Leave a comment. Tell me your story. We're all here to listen. The divorce moved fast. Patricia had built an airtight case. Rachel's lawyer told her to take the deal. No alimony. She walked away with her car, her clothes, and half the debt. That was it. Within months, she was demoted at work. Then she quit. She moved back in with her parents in Asheville, 40 years old, back in her childhood bedroom. And me? I thought the revenge would feel better. For a few weeks it did. Cold satisfaction. But then came the silence, the empty apartment, the missing the routine, even the fake one. I started therapy. Dr. Martinez helped me see that tearing something down is easy. Building something new is the hard part. I joined a hiking group. I met people who didn't know about the drama. They just knew me as Jake. Jake with the trail mix. Jake who laughs a lot. Through that group, I met Sarah, a nurse practitioner. She'd been through her own heartbreak. We started as hiking buddies, then friends, then something more. She wasn't scared of my past. She understood that sometimes you have to explode your old life to make room for a better one. 4 months after the divorce, I was grabbing coffee before a hike. I walked into this little cafe, and there she was, Rachel, sitting alone at a corner table. She looked smaller, tired, but real, more real than she had in years. Our eyes met. She walked over. "Jake, I know I'm the last person you want to see, but I'm moving to Denver next week, starting over, and before I go, I wanted to say I'm sorry. Not sorry I got caught, genuinely sorry for what I did to you. You didn't deserve it." I looked at her, and you know what I felt? Nothing. No anger, no satisfaction, no sadness. Just nothing. She was a stranger. "Thank you for saying that. I hope Denver works out." That night, I deleted every file, every photo, every message. 3 years of evidence, gone. I didn't need it anymore. 3 weeks later, Sarah and I went on our first official date, a restaurant Rachel and I had never been to, wine I'd never tried. We talked about futures, not pasts. The clueless husband who made coffee every morning is gone, but the man who replaced him,
I actually like this guy. And honestly, sometimes getting even just means finally getting free.